They fought for a nation that refused to see them, bled for a freedom they were denied, and built the very foundation of an America that tried to erase their names. This is the story of the black soldiers who saved America, but were erased from history. 1775. The colonies are at war with the British Crown. The fight for liberty, for all men, echoes through the streets of Boston, Philadelphia, and Virginia. But for thousands of black men, liberty is still a dream. Yet they fought anyway. The first man to die for American freedom wasn't white. His name was Crispus Attucks, a man of African and Native heritage who fell in the Boston Massacre of 1770. His blood was the first to stain the path toward independence. Over 5,000 black soldiers fought in the Revolutionary War. Some were free, some were enslaved, promised liberty for their service. They served under Washington, fought at Bunker Hill, Lexington, and Yorktown. They fought in silence, knowing freedom might never come. But after victory, their promises were broken. They returned home not as heroes, but as property. By 1861, America was at war with itself, North versus South, freedom versus bondage. And again, black men stepped forward. The 54th Massachusetts, the first official black regiment of the Union Army, led by Colonel Robert Gould Shaw, but driven by men who fought not just for a nation, but for their very humanity. At Fort Wagner, they charged into gunfire, knowing they might not return. Half died that night, but their courage shattered doubt, proving that black soldiers could fight as bravely as any. Their valor turned the tide. By war's end, over 180,000 black soldiers had fought for the Union, nearly 10% of its entire army. But when peace came, America forgot their names. Freedom came with chains of another kind. The promise of land, denied. The right to vote, stolen. And the same men who saved the Union were now forced to fight for the right to live. After the Civil War, the U.S. Army created new all-black regiments, the Buffalo Soldiers. They built forts, protected settlers, and fought in wars across the expanding West. Native Americans named them Buffalo Soldiers for their fierce courage and dark curly hair, a mark of respect. But while they defended the frontier, they faced racism within their own ranks. White officers gave them the dirtiest, deadliest jobs, yet their loyalty never wavered. At San Juan Hill, they led the charge, long before Roosevelt's Rough Riders took the credit. History remembered his name and forgot theirs. 1917. The world is at war again. America joins, and so do over 350,000 black soldiers. Among them, the legendary Harlem Hellfighters, the 369th Infantry Regiment. They spent 191 days in combat, longer than any American unit. They never lost a trench, never gave ground. France decorated them with its highest honors, but back home, they returned to segregation and violence. Even their victory parades were shadowed by hatred. 2 decades later, another war, this time against fascism. But for black Americans, the fight was double: victory abroad, victory at home. The Tuskegee Airmen, the first black military pilots, soared through enemy skies in red-tailed planes, never losing a bomber they escorted. The 761st Tank Battalion, known as the Black Panthers, crushed Nazi lines across Europe. Yet when the guns went silent, segregation still ruled. The heroes who defeated Hitler still couldn't eat at the same tables they fought to defend. Their courage was immortal. Their recognition denied.
In Korea and Vietnam, the faces changed, but the story stayed the same. Black soldiers made up a disproportionate number of frontline fighters. They fought with honor, courage, and skill. But when they returned home, they faced unemployment, police brutality, and the same systemic racism they'd left behind. They saved America again and again, yet America forgot to save them. For generations, their stories were buried, names lost, graves unmarked, photographs missing. Textbooks skipped their chapters, monuments bore no mention. But history has a way of rising from the dust. Today, filmmakers, teachers, and veterans' families are bringing these heroes back to light. Crispus Attucks, the 54th Massachusetts, the Harlem Hellfighters, the Tuskegee Airmen, the Buffalo Soldiers. Their names echo louder now than ever before. They saved America from its enemies and from itself. They believed in a promise that had never been fulfilled, yet fought to make it real. The next time you see the flag wave, remember the hands that carried it through fire. Remember the voices that sang freedom even when they weren't free. Remember the forgotten.